All right, welcome back, guys. This is Leffinen. I am going through and trying to show you guys how to play the game in a way that is not going to break your bank, and also go through and have it to where you can level up quickly. Because let's face it, it's called Total Battle for a reason. You do want to fight each other at some point, and nobody likes to lose a fight. I'll be honest with you, I really don't like losing fights. So when we're looking at the game, right, now we're going to look at captains. We've looked at sales. We've looked at what the clan can do for you and everything. And for the clan, please make sure that you're always checking it. Go through, click on the help. If you're going to click on nothing else in this section, please hit the help button on all the different players. Help, 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 help. Because when you're helping them, chances are they're going to remember to actually help you. So I'm trying to upgrade a mansion right now. So I'm going to help out my clan members. Hopefully they remember to help me in return. Do not hit the help all button, because that doesn't give the clan credit for all the help that you're giving each other. And let's face it, when you're a good clan, you want to attract new members that are actually good people, and they want to make sure that they're joining a clan where people care about each other. So this is one way to make sure you ensure that. Now, when we're looking at the different captains, and I'll be honest with you guys, I usually play on my phone, so this is set up differently. So if I can't show you this in the best way, I do apologize. All right, let's look at what exactly does Helen give us, because every single captain has their different attributes, their different things that they help out with. Helen is good for one specific reason. Helen, what she does is food production and troop training speed. So for me, I was stupid, and I still am, and I'm going to remedy this once I get my hero up a few more levels. When you are trying to create a new army, like whether or not it's Guardsmen level 6 or Guardsmen level 4, or, you know, the Riders or the Griffins or anything else like that, it's to where she will basically like speed it up. So like right now, if I'm not having her active and in my city at the time, it's going to take me 11 days in order to create one army. But if I have Helen, and I've gone through and I've upgraded her up to level 144, now suddenly it only takes 5 days in order to create that army. Now, granted, you'll have help from your clanmates that'll be hitting the help button, and then you have speed ups that I'll go over later in a different video. But Helen is very, very useful in speeding up your ability to create armies and making it to where you are not using a ton of money on speed ups. So Helen, very good for that. All right, let's go into this lady right here, Doria. Doria is useful because of one particular reason: her valor points. So let's say that you're fighting Arachne, and Arachne allows it to where you have 3 captains that are allowed to fight Arachne at once. Always, always, always make sure that Doria is a part of that. The reason why: Doria will allow you to basically increase the amount of valor points that you get out of it. So valor points wise, she's going to increase my valor points by 82.5%. So nearly double my valor points. And then you can also go to like star levels and increase it even more, blah, blah, blah. And Doria is very, very useful for me. I keep her as one of my people only for Arachne. I will use her over and over again. I'll use her with other captains. Whether or not I use Hercules with her, or Hercules and somebody else, or I can use like Cleopatra and somebody else. But Doria is always going to be one of the 3 that you want to use on Arachne. All right, now Cleopatra. Cleopatra is really, really good. And it's pretty sad because my main people that I end up using, most of the time it's all females and everything. I feel really bad over the fact that I don't have male captains that actually do a really good job. But sadly enough, the female captains usually do a better job when it comes down to your army. Just being honest. Okay, with Cleopatra, her strength is strength of the entire army. Doesn't matter whether or not you're using monsters, or whether or not we're talking flying, griffins or anything else, or guardsmen like on horseback or melee spike, or spearmen. all of them go through and get increased as part of strength of entire army. So I've been increasing Cleopatra up to level 171. That means that she is basically drastically making the amount of damage just so much greater. So big of a difference. So please make sure that if you can, that you are using Cleopatra. She's good for, hey, I got to go kill a common monster, send Cleopatra. Hey, I need to go through and use somebody on Arachne or whatever. You can use Hercules and Cleopatra and Doria together. That is an all-star team. That will go through and wipe out Arachne so quick. Well, it won't wipe it out, but it'll make it to where you get a lot of valor points out of it. And let's be honest, research is everything. Okay, so let's say, for instance, that you're not using one of these three, which I use different captains. I have like 7 or 8 captains that are my go-to. All the rest of them I ignore, and that's who we're going to go talk about right now. So let's go through and pick a captain. Different captains are used for different purposes, and you'll also notice that they have different type of backgrounds or whatever. So if they have a purple background, like Ada, like Farhad, this guy with the beard and everything, also Prince Dastan, him right there, then those guys, basically, they can count towards this one thing that I'm going to have to show you guys in a little bit. It's all for your main hero, and it basically gives you added bonuses. So you need to make sure not just what is the capability of that captain, but how does it balance out my army. So I'm going to show that to you real quick, because otherwise they're going to be like, well, that's a big tease. Come on, give it to me. All right, so now we're going to our main overall hero. And there's this certain button, and I apologize because of the fact that I'm on the computer, so I'm going to have to play with it. Here it is. Cool. All right, so for these different ones, if you've ever seen this screen, you're probably like, I have no idea what the heck this means. Let's say that you click on the wolf. The wolf is the tenacity group. So in each one of these groups, you really need to pick 2 different captains that you're going to use in order to help out your army. Now, for this, right, Ada is great with guardsmen. You get her at the very beginning, and she is usually a constant for most people the whole way through. Leonidas I use for melee units, because when you're fighting a epic level monster or heroic level monster, especially the heroic ones, melee units are usually the best way to go. Just send a bunch of spearmen and send some of your mercs that have more of a ground and pound type of mentality. Send them. So now, right, I have those 2. Sophia is pretty good because of the fact that she increases the health of your army. She is level 140 right now, so she's actually basically adding a 70% bonus to my army whenever I have her with the rest of the army. So, if I send her on out in order to go gather resources and somebody decides to attack me at my, spot, then she will be giving my army a 70% bonus on health, which will help out a lot. Minamoto is for ranged. He is an archer and everything, so he will go through and help out. All the legendary captains, the ones with the orange background right behind them like this, every single time that you get them up a level, they increase that ability by 1%. So 164 level for Leonidas. All of my spearmen are 164% stronger. So Minamoto is range. That's going to be your archers. Stroor, he is my favorite for gathering resources. Now, granted, that's his specialty and everything, but I sent him, I'm pretty much, every single time I'm in my city and I'm not completely busy, I always have Stroor out. Stroor, ever since I started the game, I had him fetching resources 24/7. I would wake up during the middle of the night and set an alarm, to basically hey, Stroor is going to accomplish gathering resources at this time. And then I switch him onto his next spot that he goes to. Hey, I need lumber. Stroor, come on and do this. If you're trying to play cheap, Stroor is the best way to do it. You need at least one captain that's constantly going through and gathering resources. And most of the time, you don't need 3 captains active that can fight. if you're in Clash of Thrones, or if you're in, like, if you're attacking a heroic monster, or you're fighting Arachne, those are the only times to where you need all 3 captains that are battle ready. Like Ada, you know, Leonidas, Cleopatra. But Stror is somebody to where you will be using him 95% of your time, and then switch him out for that other 5%. Bran, I know that some people swear by him. He helps out with engineering cores, so your catapults and your ballistas, your trebuchets, stuff like that. I don't see the big appeal of him. I mean, if you want to use him, you know, use him. If you're somebody that's constantly attacking other people's cities, then Bran is a good way to go, because of the fact that he will make that the enemy's walls fall that much quicker. So that's a good thing, but I don't attack other people's cities all that much. I like to play peacefully until I get at a much higher level, and then I'm not going to be so peaceful. All right, now we got our flyer. So for this woman, she helps out with any type of, like, you know, griffins or whatever that fly in the air. Every single level, I think, is like 1% strength that she adds. I haven't developed her very much, because by the time that I actually got her, and then I was like, okay, do I have anything that flies? I was guardsman level 4. And I didn't have anything that flies. You don't get things that fly until guardsman level 5. So then at that point, you can use her. But there's another captain that does the exact same thing as her and is so much more powerful. This guy, Lucius or whatever, he helps with your mounted units. But in all honesty, if you have Alexander, use Alexander. This guy, I think, is 0.5% per level. Alexander is 1% per level. So you might use him initially, but then you're going to get rid of him really quick. Aminatorre, I think is her name or whatever. So she helps as far as with, like, group marches, and she'll help the rest of your army in a group march, to where, let's say for instance I'm going to kill a heroic and I have a bunch of other reinforcements with me. If I send her, then all of the reinforcements are going to be more powerful because of her, and it also marches a little bit faster. I do not use her, in all honesty. I'm not that big of a fan. Okay, here's the one that is so controversial and everything that I'm going to have to do an entire video on. I will talk about it real quick, and then I will not tell you the rest until a different video. Beowulf. Beowulf is this character down here. It was recently added and everything, and everybody and their mother is going through and trying to get Beowulf. Beowulf adds 1% strength per level. So, okay, you're thinking that's the same as Cleopatra. Beowulf also adds 1% health per level. So you will gain 1% health and 1% strength per level with Beowulf, which is really, really nice. So I'll be honest with you guys, I am trying everything I can in order to get Beowulf right now. All right, let's go to the next group. The next group, we have Hercules. I've talked about him before. He is 2% per level in addition against the monster. So him at level like 211 right now adds 422% strength to my army. Doria, we've already gone over for valor points. Farhad. Farhad speeds up your research. So if you start to get to the point to where the research is taking 30 days, 40 days, 60 days, 100 days, 200 days or more, you need Farhad and you need to level him up. He is level 124. That means that he speeds it up by 124%, which is a lot. All right, so now we got Wu Zetian. She is our flyer. She goes through and helps out with anything as far as like every single level that she gets is 2 times the value in strength for that flyer. So my Griffins right now, I have a attack power 200 times. Or 200% what it was before. 200%, sorry. Okay, this is our monster girl. I think her name is Ingrid or whatever. She helps out with the strength of the monsters. She's going to be one that as I develop further along, I'm going to be bringing her along with me, because I'm starting to turn more into a monster army. Initially, having monsters is not a good thing. Because when you have monsters initially, when they die, they cost a lot to get back. They cost both silver and also dragon coins. And dragon coins are not that easy to get. If you're in a really super good clan, then dragon coins are easy. But if you're not in a super good clan, then dragon coins are going to be really difficult to come by. I would highly recommend that you wait on monsters until you're probably guardsman level 5 or higher. This way, the monsters are going to be that much more powerful. And if I have to use, dragon coins, I'm going to make sure that counts. This guy, I can't remember his name, but he is really good for ranged units for archers. He was my archer, army initially. Archers are only good in defense. So if you're having somebody defend the city or attack another city, he's the guy to do it. But if you're trying to fight an epic monster, don't do it. I made that mistake. Tangle, he does absolutely nothing for you, except for speeds up your marches. But let's be honest, I don't care that much about speeding up marches, because they have a thing called speed ups that you can speed up your marches with, and it doubles the amount. So I'd have to have this guy at like 100, and even then I can use speed ups and it'd still be faster than him, because I could speed it up 5 times faster. Lobos, or whatever the heck this guy's name is, I don't care. Either which way, he helps with your specialists. So if you like specialists, then he's a good way to go. But if you're trying to build your army, do not deal with specialist column. Don't hire specialists, don't build specialists, don't do anything with specialists. Build the rest of your army first, specialists last. So for like the individual swordsmen and then also the scouts, I always use, I have not really touched those guys. I left them at level 1. Once I realized just how much they cost, because they cost conquest points. And so it's really, really difficult in order to gain these guys and actually have them be useful. So if you're a brand new player and everything like that, do not mess with specialists. That's the best advice I could give you. Use those conquest points for your army modernization. All right, Alexander. Alexander is really good for mounted units. So if you have an army of guardsmen that are mounted or whatever, he is a great guy in order to have. Every single one level that you get him up is another percent that you're basically increasing your strength of your mounted units. I don't use him because of the fact that, 1, I got him late, and 2, Cleopatra does so much better job. I can have Cleopatra and she can increase everyone's strength, not just the mounted units. So that's the reason why I use her. My last group, and I'm going to go through this one a little bit faster. Cleopatra, I've already talked about her. She increases the strength of your army. Every 1 level of her is 1 added percent that your army is increased. Dustan is not that great, but what he does do is he increases your conquest points. So if you're going to fight like Clash of Thrones or War Games or Thirst for Battle or whatever, Dustan would be a good person to have you to be using whenever you try and kill somebody else's city or fight somebody else's army, like through their portal or whatever. Helen is great for the farming aspect. It increases your production of your farms. Also, the training speed of your troops being made. All right, Aurora. This is the girl that you need to concentrate on. When you start to get to higher levels and upgrading your capital takes 60 days, trust me, you're going to want to have Aurora. She's the purple girl. She has the big, huge sledgehammer and everything. I would highly recommend that you have her as one of your people that you utilize on a regular basis. Carter is good for your crypt exploration. I have not really been a crypt person up until when I got further into the game, and then now I'm using him all the time. And I go after the higher level crypts so that this way the lower level players can concentrate on the crypt level 5, crypt level 10. I do like crypt level 25s, the 20s, the rares, the stuff like that. And then I can use him, and I'm usually much more effective than most of the other players because I'm a higher level. Ramses, I just got today. Thank gosh. It took me forever. He increases the health of your army. Every 1 level that he goes up is 1% that he increases the health of your army. I'm hoping Beowulf, I could get him so that I don't even have to deal with Ramses. I just wanted to have Ramses so I can have bragging rights to myself that I have every single darn one. Now we go into our archer. I don't even know this guy's name, but he helps out with ranged units. He is one of the higher level captains, so he will go 1%, will help out your archers 1% or 2%, I can't remember, for strength. This guy, Proscope, I've never even touched him. I don't want to touch him. He helps out with your specialists and everything. If you ever wonder why it is that whenever you do the summoning that you keep on getting these pieces, he's the easiest one to get to level up in stars. And then finally her, I think she's another archer or whatever. I think her name is Z Kien or something like that. I don't know, but... Now, here's the most important part of this entire video. Who to use and who not to use. Granted, this is going to depend on what kind of army you want to have. So, here's the ones that I recommend. First and foremost, no argument about Stror. I don't care what kind of army you have, you need Stror. Because he's going to gather your resources. So if you don't want to spend a ton of money on sales, he's a good way to help you. Ada is kind of a necessity. Because she starts out with you, so you're probably going to level her up quickly. And she helps out your guardsmen. So when you're fighting an epic level monster, she's going to help out your guardsmen a lot, especially if you're doing Arachne. So like her, and then Doria, and then probably Hercules would be a good way to go. Leonidas I like. It depends upon if you want a melee type of army. If you're fighting monsters or, you know, whether or not they're epic or heroic or whatever, he's a good one to have with you. The rest of them in this group, I'm not really that, you know, anxious or like all that about. Beowulf, when I get him in here, and I'm going to do a separate video on him and how to get him, he is going to definitely be my #1 captain. Him and Hercules. So Beowulf, 1 strength and 1 health per level, can't beat that. So if you can get him and you're high enough, go get him. Watch the other video over it and everything, and I'll show you how to do it the quickest way. But those would be the people that I recommend. Leonidas, Ada is a definite, Stror is a definite, and Beowulf if you can get him. All right, next group. For this group, Hercules is an absolute mandatory. If you're going to be a serious player in this game, you need Hercules. So try and get him. You're going to have to do the triumphal sales in order to do it, but it's well worth it. Also go through and get Doria and get Farhad. So these 3 are an absolute necessity for any type of like higher level play. Hercules for the epics, Doria for Arachne in order to increase your valor points, and then for Farhad, he helps with research. If you want to add Ingrid, the monster girl, that would probably be a good idea too. And then finally, Cleopatra and Dustan. If you use Helen, I completely understand why. All 4 of these up at the very top row, even including this one, I mean, like, you kind of need them. Don't go through and spend a huge amount of time trying to level up Carter. He sucks at fighting. You're not going to get very far with him. But Cleopatra is a definite absolute must for every single player. No matter what level you are, get Cleopatra and use her. Dustan, if you do a lot of attacking other people's cities. Helen is nice for her food production. This girl, Aurora, for construction. And Carter. So up here, there's 5 that I use on basically a daily basis. And then when we go to the other groups, I got basically these 3 that are pretty good to have. So that's 8 right there in total so far. And then I have basically Stror, that's a definite. And then if you want to get one or both of these, we're talking 10, 11. The other captains, do not mess with them. See how I have these like star levels up? If you're not going to use the person and you're going to be very selective as to what captains you use, then do not worry about the star level for this girl or for Lucius. It does you nothing. I wasted a whole lot of potions doing that. So please do not do it. It's such a waste. Like, look at the mistakes that I made. Now granted, this is stuff that I made and I'll fully admit it. Tingle. He's up to 5. Do I need him? No. This dude, I can't remember his name right here. Do I need him? No, I don't care about specialists. The guy that's good for archers? Nope, don't need him. Alexander? Nope, don't need him. The Monster Girl, yeah. If you want to play, if you want to use a lot of monsters, I completely understand. But, like, don't waste those. Like, I got that guy up to level 5, and I'm just like, why? I'm so stupid. Make sure that you concentrate who you really want to use in the long run. Look at the attributes of each hero, pick out who is useful, and then get them. All right, that's going to wrap up this video. I'm going to do some more videos. I'm going to start uploading all of them onto YouTube for you guys. Please go through and make sure that you know, if you like this video, hit a like or whatever. I don't care about subscribers or anything else like that, but I'm going to continue to do videos, probably do like 10 of them. And then this way, if you're a beginner on this game, I can drastically help you out. So look for my other videos. Thank you, bye.